Coming up this hour on Chris 6 Sunrise, the city of Rockport has issued a mandatory boil notice. We have the latest on when it could be lifted and what caused it. Plus,
Gone but never forgotten. I'm Stephanie Molina, and I'll show you how the Rockport community is remembering a young teen killed in a shooting last week.
well, good morning. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. We're going to start things over by turning it over to Stephen Jones, who's standing by with a look at your roadways before you head out the door this morning. Hey, Stephen, happy Tuesday.
Well, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you as well, Michaela. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling okay. Got a lot of hours of sleep, and somehow I'm still tired.
Yeah, it's just something about Tuesday. I think even if we're getting a little bit more, still waking up, or maybe, struggling a little bit to wake up, but hopefully as we go into the day, it's not going to be too bad, right?
Let's hope.
Yeah, definitely. As we're looking at the traffic flow out there to start off our Tuesday morning, it's not looking too bad out the door. Lots of greens on the board, exactly what I'm liking to see out there. And let's get a good in-depth look here at the Harbor Bridge if you're heading to or from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green out that direction into Corpus Christi. I don't think we're looking too bad either. Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report, as well as SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway, all coming in the clear this morning if you're going to be hitting those roadways. Over towards Flower Bluff now. Flower Bluff Drive, good and green both directions, although Waldron Road, a minor slowdown there to account for, as well as the normal slowdown we see closer to the gates there at the Naval Air Station, so maybe a couple extra minutes for that commute. Over on the island, not too bad, just a minor slowdown there on SPID near Whitecap Boulevard, but those drive times for the most part in the green, going to be 22 minutes from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown, Cal Allen to downtown sitting around 14 minutes, so wherever you're coming from and going to, good and green to head out the door and kick off your Tuesday morning.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll get to your neighborhood news in just a bit, but first, U.S. and Russian officials are in Abu Dhabi for talks on a possible peace plan for Ukraine. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll met with Russian delegation officials Monday. The latest round of talks comes after U.S. and Ukrainian leaders negotiated the framework in Geneva. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says the latest proposal has proper considerations but fewer points than previous drafts. Diplomats are hoping this current round of discussions will lead into future, higher levels peace talks. One person was killed and 7 more wounded in Russia's attacks on Kyiv overnight. A 9-story building was hit by debris in Kyiv, causing a fire to break out on the 6th and 7th floors. The attack came shortly after Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky made an appeal for attacks on Ukraine to stop amid the renewed peace talks. The Pentagon is reviewing what it says are serious allegations of misconduct against Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. It's over a video the group of lawmakers with military backgrounds recently posted. In it, the group reminds U.S. service members they have a duty to disobey illegal orders. The administration called the lawmakers' comments treason. Monday, the Pentagon said Kelly could be recalled to active duty to face a court-martial or administrative punishment. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth added that the investigation stems from Kelly's comments in the video. Kelly has not yet issued a statement in response to the probe. Back here at home, the city of Rockport has issued a mandatory boil water notice for all residents. City officials say it's due to the recent severe weather that caused significant drops in water pressure throughout the city. As a precaution, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, or TCEQ, has required the city to tell residents to boil their water. Water samples have been sent in for testing. The results are expected to be back by Wednesday. The results of those tests will determine when the boil water notice is lifted. Today marks 1 week since the fatal shooting of 14-year-old Sean Sanchez. He was shot and killed outside a Robstown apartment complex. 2 people have been arrested in the wake of that shooting. 18-year-old Elias Eric Rivera and 22-year-old Dominic Guzman are both charged with murder. A teen who's also a suspect is in custody on an unrelated charge. Robstown police say they are still looking for at least 1 other suspect. According to investigators, the murder of Sean Sanchez was connected to the shooting of a 16-year-old boy a few days earlier.
I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter in Robstown. It's been nearly a week since the death of 14-year-old Sean Sanchez. As the investigation continues of his murder, his loved ones are doing what they can to keep his memory alive.
Our city is mourning, for this life that was taken away.
The fatal shooting of 14-year-old Sean Sanchez is Robstown's first murder in 2 years, and it has shaken the community. Sean's sister, Serena, shared a statement with Chris 6 News. She describes her younger brother as silly and loved giving hugs, an affectionate person who loved his family. She says, "It was hard to dislike him, and if anyone did, it was only because they never got to know the real him." According to Ramon Funeral Home, Sean was a freshman at Robstown Early College High School. His obituary says he was excited for the future that lay ahead, full of dreams, possibilities, and moments he never got the chance to live. Pastor Elizondo says he is now guiding Sean's family through this difficult time.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live look out at our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. Not too bad to start off our Tuesday morning. The aquarium nice and lit up, the new Harbor Bridge in view, and a few cars starting to hit it as we're going through that 6 a.m. hour for the Tuesday morning commute, but a little bit of patchy fog for some of our inland communities also to watch out for on that morning commute. Looking back at yesterday, pretty warm at 85 degrees, only 4 degrees shy of that record. 89 back from 1949. The morning low 74 degrees, tied with where our daytime high average should be for this time of year. So definitely a little warm for my taste as we're going into late November, but rainfall also need a lot of almost or a little over 10 inches in terms of the 2025 deficit. So we put a good dent in it over the weekend, but still about 10 inches to go. Current temperatures in your neck of the woods, a little cooler off to Cotulla, 55 degrees, and then a good 22-degree run as you work your way over to Port Aransas, down to 21 degrees there, 76, at least that difference between Port Aransas and Cotulla right now. Looking into Ingleside, 73 degrees, Beeville coming in about 67 this morning as we're kicking off our Tuesday. Those current winds also fairly light compared to what we saw yesterday, only about that 5 to 7 mile an hour mark, even down to 3 miles an hour out of the north there over towards Hebronville, and also a little variable as you work your way to the south because that stalled boundary is pretty much set up right overhead. So some of us are getting that nice little northerly breeze, others with a little bit of a southerly breeze. Current visibility also reduced out there in Orange Grove, Beeville, and Alice, so some of that patchy fog has developed. Going to keep my eyes on it through about the next couple of hours before it should start to dissipate into the later morning hours, and then mostly sunny skies take over for our afternoon. So for our dog walking forecast today, we've got Ella, Huey, and Miley on the board. Just enjoying a great Corpus Christi night, it looks like, and looking at those temperatures this morning for them, if they're going to be up 75 degrees by 9 a.m., 81 by 11 a.m., still those mid-80s as we're heading out for lunch with some light winds out of the north, about 5 to 10 miles an hour, maybe variable as you work your way to some of our southern communities. For the feels like temperatures, they're going to ride up into those lower 90s by peak heating about 2 to 3 p.m. So another warm day on the board for us, but going to be nice and cool by tomorrow. For our future tracker, not too much in terms of rain going to be out there. Very spotty if we see anything today. I think you could probably put the umbrella away for our Tuesday, and even into our Wednesday, you're going to see that cold front work into the area. So not looking too bad on the future tracker in terms of rain, but we could surely use it like we talked about, almost 10 inches to go. The best rain chance is going to remain off to the south where we still have that still unstable air before that cold front works through tomorrow, really wiping out any of the even cloud cover that we had on the board across the coastal bend. So plenty of sunshine as we go into our Wednesday, and including our Thanksgiving as well, just looking like a beautiful sunny day. And also those temperatures in the 70s, couldn't ask for much better for the holiday. Morning lows around 51 degrees, but then we're going to come right back up into the weekend. Overnight lows go back into those upper 60s by Friday night. A little bit of scattered shower development this weekend, and the lower 70s to kick off next week.
Who's ready for a non-controversial pardon? Coming up on Sunrise, Scripps News Group Joe St. George will join us to break down the history of the turkey pardon. Welcome back. It is 6:12 on your Tuesday morning, and we're taking a live look at our SPID Skycam. It's Tuesday, y'all. We are in the week of Thanksgiving, and if you have any plans for Thanksgiving, you might want to listen up. If you're planning on traveling to spend Thanksgiving with your family, better leave soon. AAA says today is the worst day to drive. At least 73 million Americans will be hitting the roads over the holiday weekend. If you want to avoid peak travel, head out before noon or after 9 p.m. The good news is that AAA says gas prices have remained about the same as last year. Here in Corpus Christi, the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $2.44. And now to Washington, where President Trump will host the annual White House turkey pardon in the Rose Garden. To talk more about the holiday tradition, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Joe St. George. Good morning, Joe. The turkey pardon is a tradition that spans more than 3 decades. Can you tell us more about how it began and what happens to the 2 turkeys that are getting pardoned today?
First off, I'm so glad we brought up a fun little topic, right? A couple days before Thanksgiving. We've talked so much this year about serious, consequential, and controversial pardons. It's good to have a little fun pardon topic. Today, it's Gobble and Waddle. They're the winners of the traditional presidential pardon. If you're anywhere near a TV around 1 o'clock or so today when the president holds this tradition, it's fun to pop it on. The president usually does a few jokes, takes some questions from reporters. It's always a fun tradition. Doesn't matter your political party. So what's the history of all of this? Well, it goes back, the modern day tradition, to President George Herbert Walker Bush. Now, presidents before that, though, were documented being photographed with turkeys. There's always been a national turkey presentation by poultry associations to the President of the United States. Harry Truman's believed to be the first president to have been photographed with a national turkey in the days leading up to Thanksgiving, although, as the Truman Library notes, it's unclear if that turkey was actually pardoned or not. So the Trumans may have ate that bird. As far as this tradition goes, since the late 1980s, more than 60 turkeys have received a presidential pardon. Gobble and Waddle, after they receive their pardon today, they will be living the rest of their life in luxury at a special, essentially turkey resort in North Carolina. Not a bad life. Leading up to the pardoning today at the White House, they've been staying in a 5-star hotel near 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So, like I said, this is just a fun tradition, right? A chance to laugh about something that's a little silly, but just a good break from the serious politics that we're talking about on a daily basis here in Washington.
All right, Joe, well, I don't think I'm allowed to say those turkeys look delicious, but I will say that they seem pretty lavish. So thank you so much for your time today.
No. They look beautiful. You're supposed to say they look beautiful.
They look gorgeous, gorgeous birds. But all righty, Joe, we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, taking a live look out at Snoopy's Pier thanks to Matthews CCAC. Just a great Tuesday on our hands. Quite a bit of that low cloud cover out there, maybe a little humid, but not looking like too bad of a Tuesday for us. And as we go into the afternoon, going to see even more of that sunshine. And as we head towards that turkey pardon, not looking too bad either at around 1 p.m. What to expect for today, though, some of that patchy fog going to stick around for our morning commute hours. After the sun comes up, should start to dissipate, and then the mostly sunny skies really take over this afternoon. But then tonight, the big weather story going to be as that cold front works into the area, cooling us off for tomorrow, also bringing some dry and breezy conditions back to the area. For current temperatures, quite a bit cooler off to the northwest in Cotulla, reading 55 degrees, then a good 21-degree run over to Port Aransas, coming in at 76 this morning. Hebronville off to the southwest, rounding us out about 65 degrees. So a good spread of those temperatures. And as we go into the afternoon, going to see all of us warm up into the 70s, if not the 80s here in Corpus Christi. Expecting around 86 degrees for that daytime high, about 3 p.m. Winds going to be light out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour compared to what we saw yesterday with some of those gusts getting upwards of 30 miles an hour at times. Unfortunately, rain chances going to stay remaining at the bottom of the board today. Only going to be seeing stray activity at best whenever we see that cold front work into the area, but the best rain chance is going to remain just slightly south of the coastal bend, and you can see that on our future tracker where we start to get a little bit more of that activity towards the Rio Grande Valley, but here into Corpus Christi going to stay relatively dry, and as we go into the days ahead, especially into tomorrow as well, that's where we see that cold front working into the area, starts to wipe out any of that cloud cover for our Wednesday. So expecting plenty of blue skies as we go into tomorrow and the Thanksgiving holiday. You can see on our upper level pattern the support for the system really working off towards the east as we go into Wednesday and Thanksgiving. But then as we go into the weekend, this next core of cold air really starts to bear down on the central United States, sending a decent shot of cold air our way into the coastal bend as well. And when we're looking at the forecast high temperatures, really only going to see them above average as we're going into that Saturday time frame. By next week, going to remain below average, it looks like, as we go into December. So feeling quite a bit more seasonable. And as we get a sneak peek at that Thanksgiving forecast, already looking pretty good here in the coastal bend. Of course, taking a look, you can see the turkeys there just having a good time. But as we look at that, 74 degrees is what we're expecting, and plenty of sunshine similar to what we're going to see tomorrow. And winds out of the east-northeast about 8 to 13 miles an hour. So really not too bad at all as we're heading into our Thanksgiving. For those rain chances, they're going to peak by this weekend when we start to see a little bit more of that isolated to scattered development by the Sunday to Monday time frame. So not going to be a total washout, but we're still going to take every drop we can get. Got about 10 inches to go to make up for 2025. For our 7-day forecast, going to see some nice days on the board going through Friday. Then the 80s make their return this weekend with a little bit of that rain shower activity before we're back in the lower 70s by Monday.
A boil water notice has neighbors in Rockport scrambling. I'm Ana Conejo with what we know so far and why residents are upset.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
A group of women in Corpus Christi is turning grief and friendship into something beautiful for local veterans. What started as a small group of caregivers has become a circle of friends called Las Chulas en Rojo. Each holiday season, they prepare wreaths and bows for the Coastal Bend State Veterans Cemetery. The group includes 9 widows and several caregivers who support veterans. Nancy Kahn is new to the group this year. Her husband was just laid to rest in September.
My husband is on the wall. He's in the columbarium. We just put him there in September. And I pray that whoever it is, the family will be blessed and they will know that they are not alone.
On tonight's Veterans in Focus, I'll show you a glimpse of all the work that goes into honoring veterans who are laid to rest, the stories behind some of the ladies' reasons for showing up, and how you can help volunteer.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look out at our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. The new Harbor Bridge in view. A few cars starting to head out for that Tuesday morning commute. 71 degrees and winds are pretty calm, but there's a little bit of fog to watch for in some of our inland communities. But otherwise, traffic flow around our area has been good and green this morning. Let's get a good in-depth look here at the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green out that direction, yes, and over into Corpus Christi, plenty of greens on the board as well. A minor slowdown there on Ocean Drive to account for it, although SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway, all three coming in the clear. Just a minor slowdown there on Rod Field as you come up to SPID. Over towards Flower Bluff. Flower Bluff Drive looking good and green, although Waldron Road a minor slowdown also to account for. And lastly, over towards the island. Not looking too bad over there, just a minor slowdown. SPID and 361 the same as you work over towards that intersection with Whitecap Boulevard. So really, wherever you're coming from and going to, going to be good and green to head out the door and kick off your Tuesday morning.
The city of Corpus Christi is in San Patricio County making their pitch for the future of water. I'm Adam Beam, looking at Monday's public meeting and what comes next.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, taking a live look out at our Snoopy's Pier sky cam thanks to Matthews CCAC. Not too bad out there, just a lot of low cloud cover thanks to those dew points in the upper 60s, if not the lower 70s. Winds are also pretty calm, and that's allowing for just a little bit of fog development often in some of our inland communities, but otherwise not too bad to start off our Tuesday. What we're expecting throughout the day, like we talked about, that patchy fog this morning for some of our inland communities starts to go away after the sun comes up, making making way for those mostly sunny skies this afternoon, but the big story going to be tonight when we see that cold front arrive into the coastal bend. That's going to stir those winds out of the north a little bit more into tomorrow, getting breezy, dry, and then much cooler than what we're going to see today as we go into our Wednesday. Already a little bit cooler off to the northwest in Cotulla, though, at that 55-degree mark. Then a good 21 degrees run to the coast at Port Aransas, coming in at 76 degrees. 69 there in Robstown, Beeville coming in at 66, and Hebronville rounding us out 65 degrees. So a good spread of those temperatures this morning, and as we go into the afternoon, would start to get a little bit more uniform. For some of that patchy fog, currently seeing it from Robstown into Alice and Beeville for some of those mainly reduced visibilities. Off to the south as well, seeing less than 1 statute mile of that visibility. So a couple extra minutes to plan for in that morning commute. Be extra cautious on the roadways if you're going to be running through that. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Ella, Huey, and Miley on the board, just enjoying a nice Corpus Christi night. It looks like if they're going to be up this morning for another walk, looking at those temperatures, not going to be too bad. 75 by 9 a.m., 81 by 11 a.m. Still those mid-80s as we're heading out for lunch, and a light wind out of the north about 5 to 10 miles an hour into the early afternoon. And planning out that daytime high around 86 degrees here in Corpus Christi is what I'm forecasting around 3 p.m. And light winds out of the east and northeast 5 to 10 miles an hour going to continue into our afternoon hours. Unfortunately, those rain chances today, though, not looking the best. Only going to be stray and very unlikely, even going into the overnight hours. That's when that front's going to get here about 10 p.m. to that midnight time frame. Could stir up just a little bit of a rain chance, mainly for our southern communities, but overall, I think most of us going to be staying dry with this system. Planning out that future tracker for you, here's what it could look like throughout today. Going to be pretty dry around the Corpus Christi area. The best rain chance is going to remain off to the south towards the valley area, but as we go into tomorrow, we're going to see that front really work in tonight and then wipe out the cloud cover as we go into tomorrow. So not looking too bad with plenty of sunshine on the board expected for Corpus Christi as we go into our Wednesday and even the Thanksgiving holiday. For our upper level pattern, that trough of cold air really going to be working into the East Coast by tomorrow, already centering there over Wisconsin. But as we go into the weekend is what I'm watching for now. That next trough of cold air going to be working into the central United States by Sunday, that Sunday time frame, sending another decent shot of cold air into the coastal bend. And it looks like we could start off next week in those lower 70s. For our forecast high temperatures, you can see where they really peak there by Saturday, and then we're going to be back below average starting off next week, so not too bad at all. Hopefully maybe even seeing some 60s make their return to the area, but that's still got some time to change up as we go into the weather world. For our Thanksgiving forecast, getting a little bit of a sneak peek out there, 74 degrees is what we're expecting, and winds out of the east-northeast 8 to 13 miles an hour. Pretty similar around most of the Lone Star State, if not even a little cooler into those 60s if you're going to be out and about, if San Antonio, Austin, or even into the Houston area. For our 7-day forecast here in Corpus Christi, though, we're going to take these nice victories into those 70s from about tomorrow through the Friday time frame. Overnight lows Thanksgiving morning going to be around 51 degrees, back up towards 70 degrees into the weekend, with a little bit more scattered shower development expected into early next week.
Small businesses are feeling the economic squeeze, so for some, it could be a make or break holiday season. I'm Holly Furfer with the surprising impact of your holiday shopping choices.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska in Refugio. The Bobcats know all about playing football during Thanksgiving week. They're also very familiar with their third-round playoff opponent. More on this top-ranked matchup in sports.
This is your 6 Sports Report.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska in Refugio. The #1 ranked Bobcats know all about playing football during Thanksgiving. They're also very familiar with their third-round playoff opponent, #2 ranked Ganado. The Indians have upset Refugio the past 2 seasons in playoffs, and the Bobcats are ready to prove that their hard work has paid off.
Focus, focus, focus. You understand? Yes, sir. Everything right. Here we go.
Redemption. You know, we've been waiting for a whole year now to play them. Should have won last year. You know, we had a couple mistakes, but this year it's going to be a lot different.
Last year, the Bobcats fell to Ganado 14-6 in round 3 of playoffs. Ganado went on to win their first ever UIL 2A Division I state championship.
You know, it's always going to be a competition every time we play Ganado. They're a really good team, and you know, I feel like our O-line is going to go really well against them, and then I feel like our skill guys are going to do really well against their skill guys as well.
Refugio rallied early around their rushing attacks. Senior duo Ray Lewis and Xander Wills have totaled 2,400 yards and 43 touchdowns together.
Earlier in the year, you got Xander, you got Ray, you got Johnny, and we got a lot of guys that can carry the ball and run good. So we kind of leaned on that, and we kind of eased Ray into the throwing part.
Lewis later found confidence in the pocket. The quarterback threw 3 interceptions week 2, and since then has kept it clean. Lewis alongside junior Matthew Pettis have combined for 1,600 passing yards and 18 touchdowns.
Matthew and Ray, they can throw the ball real well. We figured that out. We have great receivers, Lay, Michael, all of them. They can catch the ball real well. It's just great overall.
Refugio's defense returned a lot of experience, which they'll need to slow down Ganado dual-threat quarterback Landon Arriaga. The sophomore has nearly 3,000 total yards. Refugio is used to facing this level of pressure and playing at this time of year.
If I retire, I don't know what I'll do at Thanksgiving because, it's just part of it. That's what we do.
Refugio and Ganado kick off on Friday at 7 p.m. in Port Lavaca. The Bobcats are one of 5 Coastal Bend teams that advanced to the third round of playoffs alongside Gregory Portland, Cal Allen, Sinton, and Rockport Fulton.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look out at our Snoopy's Pier Skycam thanks to Matthew CCAC. Starting to get a nice sunrise out there and a lot of that low cloud cover here in the Corpus Christi area. 73 degrees and winds out of the west-southwest 3 miles an hour, and the water is nice and calm as we're starting off our Tuesday morning. Those temperatures in your neck of the woods a little cooler towards Cotulla, 55 degrees, and then a good 21-degree run to the coast. 76 is what we're reading currently in the Port Aransas area. Here in town, 71, and then 65 off to the southwest in Hebbronville is what we're rounding out at. Those dew points in the upper 60s, if not the lower 70s, as you work your way along the coast. A good recipe for a little bit of fog to start developing, and that's what we're seeing over towards Alice. Half a mile visibility, Robstown 0.8, 1.5 miles there in the Beeville area. Going to keep our eyes on it through about the next hour or so, but with the sun coming up, should start to dissipate as we go towards that 8 a.m. time frame to 9 a.m. as well. But the rain chance is not going to be totally done. I'll go over all those rain chances and the full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brenda and Michelle have the day off. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones. Stephen, when I woke up this morning, I said, how do I dress like you? And I tried, but you definitely rock it better for sure.
You did absolutely great, though. I think the outfit. It's there today. It's rocking it.
Thank you. So do you. I'll give that right back to you.
So, do we want the good news or the bad news first?
Good news. Let's give us
the good news first. Plenty of greens on the board. The bad news, it's your second to last day with us on the Sunrise Show. And
oh, no.
I'm definitely sad to see it. We're going to miss you here on Sunrise, Michaela.
I'm going to miss you guys so much. It's been wonderful being here with y'all.
Absolutely. But, okay, back to the good news, I guess. The plenty of greens on the board is exactly what we like to see to start off our Tuesday morning out there. Here's a live look out at our SPID cam. A few more cars starting to hit South Padre Island Drive there as we head closer to 7 a.m., but still not looking too bad as we're starting out there and looking at the traffic flow around our area. Plenty of greens on the board like we were just looking at. Let's get a good in-depth look here at the New Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. If you're heading that way, going to be good and green, no worries. Into Corpus Christi Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report, as well as SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway, all three coming in the clear as we're heading towards 7 a.m. into Flower Bluff now. Flower Bluff Drive, no major slowdowns. Waldron Road, a little bit more of one to account for there as we're getting closer to the Naval Air Station. Also just a very minor slowdown, and looking over at the island, looking pretty good and green across the board. So wherever you're coming from and going to, going to be good and green to head out there and kick off your Tuesday morning.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. The Evangeline Aquifer could be the future of water for the Coastal Bend. But how do San Patricio County residents feel about it? The potential future of the Coastal Bend's water were on full display in Sinton Monday night, a chance for neighbors to share their voices in the ongoing discussion to combat our ongoing drought.
500,000 people every day rely on us. So the message tonight, hopefully, that you'll get amongst many is that this water is for the region.
At the center of Monday's meeting was the Evangeline Aquifer, the proposed project that city leaders hope will begin pumping 12 million gallons of water per day before the feared November 2026 deadline, where there may not be enough water to meet the region's demands.
So if you look at your water supply portfolio as a three-legged stool, we need all three of those legs to stand up correctly.
Throughout the night, Corpus Christi Water's goal was to answer the many questions neighbors may have, and many questions there were.
But I also understand you guys have voted how many times to vote down the desalination plants? So I'm like, okay, why is more planning on your part and emergency on ours?
To go down to service all the refineries and whatever else, and even San Antonio, we got a problem with that.
Plans with Evangeline will continue to move forward, but CCW has left the door open for further sessions like this one.
And we will utilize that to protect all of our customers. So again, you've got to have those multiple sources to manage that resource and not rely just on one.
Now, what about the city of Sinton? Mayor Mary Spidell tells me that they're not budging and that they will continue to object to any permits submitted to the city. Reporting in Sinton, I'm Adam Beam for Chris 6 News.
Thanks, Adam. For more on his story, head on over to ChrisTV.com. We have plenty of neighborhood news to get to, from remembering the victim of last week's shooting in Robstown to a boil water notice for residents in Rockport. We have you covered in your neighborhood check-in.
I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter in Robstown. It's been nearly a week since the death of 14-year-old Sean Sanchez. As the investigation continues of his murder, his loved ones are doing what they can to keep his memory alive.
Our city is mourning, for this life that was taken away.
The fatal shooting of 14-year-old Sean Sanchez is Robstown's first murder in 2 years, and it has shaken the community. Sean's sister, Serena, shared a statement with Chris 6 News. She describes her younger brother as silly and loved giving hugs, an affectionate person who loved his family. She says, it was hard to dislike him, and if anyone did, it was only because they never got to know the real him. According to Ramon Funeral Home, Sean was a freshman at Robstown Early College High School. His obituary says he was excited for the future that lay ahead, full of dreams, possibilities, and moments he never got the chance to live. Pastor Elizondo says he is now guiding Sean's family through this difficult time.
A boil water notice has neighbors in Rockport scrambling. Amana Conejo with what we know so far and why residents are upset.
Rockport is under a boil water notice after a lightning strike damaged the city's water tower, knocking out key controls and causing low water pressure. Visitors like Chris Wren say they never received updates and only learned about the notice after using water all morning. The city said it switched from the code red system to reverse alert in September and encourages residents to sign up to ensure they received emergency notifications. Local businesses also are feeling the impact. The city expects test results by Tuesday or Wednesday before lifting the boil notice.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, taking a live look out at our USS Lexington cam brought to us by First Community Bank. A lot of that low cloud cover out there, even some fog for some of our inland communities. Temperatures at 71 degrees. Winds also pretty light there out of the north, about 5 miles an hour. And as we're going into our day, it's not going to be too bad. Just got to get rid of that fog this morning. Going to make way for some mostly sunny skies as we go into the afternoon hours. But the big story really going to be this cold front that we're expecting later tonight. That's going to make things cool, dry, and breezy as we go into our Wednesday tomorrow. So not too bad as we go into our Wednesday. Temperature is going to be pretty cool up there to the northwest in Cotulla, 55 degrees, but then a little bit warmer closer to the coast. 21 degrees warmer to be exact. 76 is what we're reading in Port Aransas currently. 66 the number for Beeville, Kingsville, rounding us out about 69 degrees as we're starting off our Tuesday. And like we talked about, just a little bit of that patchy fog out there. Robstown around 0.3 miles of visibility, half a mile there in Alice, 1.5 up in Beeville. So definitely keep the headlights on and maybe give yourself a couple extra minutes for that morning commute as we're heading through it if you're expecting to go through that fog area. Whenever we're planning out the rest of our Tuesday, though, daytime highs expected around 86 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Plenty of sunshine on the board. Winds pretty light, only getting up to about 11 miles an hour there by 5 p.m. and not really expecting too much rain. Those best chances going to remain off to the south. And that's what we're going to see on our future tracker off in the Gulf and then towards the Rio Grande Valley, where they see a little bit of that isolated to scattered shower shower and thunderstorm development. That's where it's all going to be staying. With that stalled boundary right overhead, more of that unstable air is residing to the south. But as we go into tomorrow, that next cold front that works in tonight wipes out any of that cloud cover that we were seeing tonight as well. So plenty of sunshine on the way as we go into our Wednesday. For the upper level pattern, the core of that cold air really going to start shifting off to the east by the Thanksgiving time frame. But then my eyes are going to be on the weekend. This next shot of cold air really starts to bear down on the central United States by Saturday into Sunday, sending a decent shot of cold air our way as well. And that's going to see a decent decrease in those daytime high temperatures, really going to peak by the Saturday time frame, back by Tuesday going potentially into the 60s, but still some time for that to change. We'll see how the forecast shakes out. But either way, I'm going to take these below average temperatures as we're going into December. And a little bit of a sneak peek at our Thanksgiving forecast for you. See, got the turkeys on the board and just ready for the season, but really going to be just a beautiful day at 74 degrees. Plenty of sunshine as well, and those nice winds out of the east-northeast about 8 to 13 miles an hour. So not too much more. You could ask for maybe the 60s if you think the 70s are still a little bit warm, but I'll take the 70s while we can get them, and the potential for some 60s next week. So we're expecting those 70s through about Friday. The 80s make their return by the weekend. A little bit more moisture as well stirs up some of those rain chances from Saturday into Monday, with overnight lows going back into the 50s to start off next week.
You may have a wish list of toys and gadgets ahead of Black Friday, but small business owners and advocates urge you to save some of your shopping for Small Business Saturday. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Some business owners say this season is critical, with businesses feeling the pain of this year's economic squeeze.
We try to carry like holiday prints because people love them, but we also carry like your everyday prints like Taylor Swift.
Kelly Carson and Michaela Vanderwally are co-owners of the Riley Grace Company. Their crafting transformed into this custom line of bows, headbands, blankets, and hand towels.
People love them. They say that they will put a bottle of wine with them and bring it as a hostess gift.
Like other small businesses, they are competing against big box retailers that can stock more goods, typically at lower prices.
You have a lot of not only time and energy in it, but you have higher expense because you're not buying them at $10,000. Right. Like we're a small business, so we don't need $10,000.
A survey by the organization Small Business for America's Future sheds light on the hardships small businesses face. 68% of owners say their customers have less money to spend, and 59% expect worse holiday sales than last year. Rhett Buttle is senior advisor to the group.
We're also seeing challenges, for example, around healthcare costs and tariffs. And so this is all sort of contributing to this uncertain situation, but it's also driving up costs.
He says money spent at small businesses can help support local suppliers and local jobs.
This is where a lot of small businesses, especially those in local industries, make the vast majority of the revenue for the entire year.
Oh, this one might be good.
Olivia Arthur manages this painted tree, a space for local vendors to sell their products.
This is their dream, so when you're shopping here, you're not only supporting that dream, but you're helping to support their families too.
She showed us affordable, unique gift options ahead of Small Business Saturday.
She hand makes all of her jewelry. It's really, really cool, very unique. Body oils, scrubs. I think these are really good, especially for like stocking stuffers. So it's like a paint your own like dragon egg.
At a time when most people do not have much extra to spend, small business owners hope what you can spare stays local.
So you won't see them anywhere else, which sets that small business thing apart.
Holly Furfer, Scripps News Group.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
If you're planning on traveling to spend Thanksgiving with your family, better leave soon. AAA says today is the worst day to drive. At least 73 million Americans will be hitting the roads over the holiday weekend. So if you want to avoid peak travel, head out before noon or after 9 p.m. The good news is that AAA says gas prices have remained about the same as last year. Here in Corpus Christi, the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $2.44. President Donald Trump will host the annual White House turkey pardon ceremony today in the Rose Garden. It's a presidential tradition that spans more than 3 decades. 2 turkeys will be spared from ending up on people's dinner tables. The turkeys, named Gobble and Waddle, will live out their days on a farm in North Carolina and be cared for by the Poultry Science Department at North Carolina State University. The federal indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James have been dismissed. The judge found the appointment of interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan by the U.S. Attorney General was invalid, and therefore the indictments did not stand. President Donald Trump handpicked Halligan for the role in Alexandria, Virginia. Within days, she brought the cases against Comey and James, whom Trump has said targeted him politically. Both had pleaded not guilty. The Pentagon is reviewing what it says are serious allegations of misconduct against Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. It's over a video that a group of lawmakers with military backgrounds recently posted. In it, the group reminds U.S. service members they have a duty to disobey illegal orders. The administration called the lawmakers' comments treason. Monday, the Pentagon said Kelly could be recalled to active duty to face a court-martial or administrative punishment. Kelly has not yet issued a statement in response to the probe. If you get your prescriptions at the CVS on Airline and Alameda, listen up. The pharmacy announced it's closing its doors on December 10th. Several customers tell us they've received letters from CVS explaining that their prescriptions are being transferred to another location, and signage at the store confirms that change. If you use this pharmacy, check your letter or call CVS to confirm where and when your medications will be available. We'll keep you updated as more details become available. Huntwick Avenue on the south side is officially open again. The roadwork wrapped up on schedule and just in time for the holiday rush. Construction on Huntwick Avenue began in July and included brand new concrete pavement, improved sidewalks, ADA-compliant ramps, and drainage upgrades. Crews have finished the work, and the roadway from South Staples to the HEB Plus is now open to traffic. You may still see a flagger on site as crews clean up sidewalks and clear debris, but traffic is moving normally. A recent survey is shedding light on which social media platforms Americans are spending their time on. Pew Research Center surveyed more than 5,000 adults, and 84% said they use YouTube. Facebook came in second with 71% reporting they use the platform, and half said they use Instagram. The survey also showed adults under the age of 30 are more likely to use Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Reddit. When it comes to gender, women are more likely to use Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Men, on the other hand, are more likely to use Reddit and X, formerly known as Twitter. All right, Stephen, based off your own individual experience, do you agree or do you disagree with this research?
See, I don't know. I think I'm in the unpopular opinion on this, one of them, but that's YouTube. You know, I'm not a big YouTuber. What about you?
I don't think I'm a big YouTube person either, but I will say when it comes to that 30 and under, I use my TikTok, I use my Instagram, my Facebook. I don't really use Reddit. Or X. I don't have X.
Reddit's only for like if I need to look something up and I'm struggling to find it, but keeping in mind that it's not, you know, official things whenever I'm looking something up also. But, you know, TikTok and X, sometimes Facebook as well, not too bad. Instagram, maybe not so much for me.
Sometimes I maybe use TikTok a little too much. There I am, doom scrolling at night.
No, it's not too bad. But I mean, trying to just get out and about more, enjoying, you know, not being on the phones as much, I think is a good thing too.
Yes, and you know what, with the weather coming up, I'd rather be outside.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Looking just great tomorrow. I mean, maybe a little breezy tomorrow, but Thursday for Thanksgiving and Friday, both looking just wonderful outside. Not too bad even starting off our Tuesday morning, 70 degrees. Here's a live look out at our USS Lexington camp, thanks to First Community Bank. Maybe just a little bit warm for some of our tastes. Average daytime highs are supposed to be about 74 degrees, so we're only about 4 degrees off of where we're supposed to be later in this afternoon. Planning out our Tuesday, though, you could see maybe a little bit of patchy fog this morning. That's mainly for some of our inland communities. That's going to make way for mostly sunny skies this afternoon, but the big story going to be the cold front that comes in tonight, making it nice and cool for tomorrow and the Thanksgiving holiday. Current temperatures in your neck of the woods a little cooler off to the northwest. Cotulla coming in at 55 degrees, 65 there in George West, 76 over in Port Aransas, so a good 21 degree spread from northwest working your way to the coast. Kingsville coming in around 66 degrees, so not too bad as we're kicking off our Tuesday morning. But that patchy fog has set up across some of our inland communities, Robstown, Alice, Orange Grove, even upwards towards Beeville, all seeing some reduced visibility, so definitely keep those headlights on. Maybe give yourself a couple extra minutes as you're heading out for your Tuesday morning commute. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Ella, Huey, and Miley on the board. Just enjoying a nice Corpus Christi night, it looks like there. But if they're up this morning ready for another walk, here's what those temperatures are going to be. 75 by 9 a.m., 81 by 11 a.m., 83 there by the lunchtime hour. Winds also going to be nice and light out of the north-northeast, around 5 to 10 miles an hour into those early afternoon hours. For our future tracker today, going to be staying nice and dry as well across the coastal bend. Better rain chances going to remain off to the south towards the Rio Grande Valley, where there's a little bit more unstable air just south of the stalled boundary that's overhead. As we go into tomorrow, that's where we really see that cold front wipe out any of the cloud cover that we would have seen. So a beautiful sunny day tomorrow, but going to be a little breezy out of the north, 20 to even 30 miles an hour as we go through the day. For our current upper level pattern, that shot of cold air starts to work off to the east by Wednesday into Thursday, and then as we go into the weekend, that next shot of cold air going to be making its way into the coastal bend as we go into the weekend. So maybe even the 60s we're watching for next week. But for our 7-day forecast, we're going to take the nice victories on the board. The 70s for this weekend, some scattered shower development as we go into the weekend, with daytime highs going back into those lower 70s and maybe even the 60s by Tuesday. How would you feel about the 60s making their return to the area, Michaela?
That would be a dream come true.
Yeah, no, that does sound pretty nice. I mean, we're supposed to be around 74 degrees, so I don't think the 60s would be too bad. I don't think there'd be a lot of opposition to it.
Oh no, hopefully not. Alrighty, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise this morning, and we will see you back here for Chris 6 News at noon.